Hey guys, happy Saturday. UK game is on right now, football game. So there's no telling what kind of background noise you might pick up in a little bit. Hopefully we keep the score up so there won't be any hollering. Kids are playing, and I'm cooking. Shocking. I want to show you all this. I'm making a lasagna. So I made like normal lasagna, but I'm trying to do something different. I'm using, this is mine. I made my family like a regular one, but I use these noodles, and I'll show you. There's zucchini and squash noodles, and then I just took some of like the other layers that you would normally put on a lasagna, and I'm using it here. So let me get this in the oven. I just wanted to show it to you all before I put it in there. You're just going to be traveling through my kitchen with me here for a little bit because I was running a few minutes late, but I wanted to go ahead and hop on here so I could show you all what I'm working on. Alright, so I've never done that before. We'll see how it turns out with those kind of noodles at least. And let me show you these noodles. I got these. Found these at Sam's. It's been a few weeks ago and I hadn't tried them yet. I've tried zucchini. Hey, girls, turn the volume down a little bit. I've had veggie noodles before, but I haven't had this brand. And they came frozen, and they're like in these little pods like this. They're like balled up like that. And then you can either heat them up on this skillet, which is what I did, or you can put them in the microwave and then add them to however you want to cook them. So the reason why I'm using these versus the noodles is because I want to try to find a way to get more vegetables in, and sometimes like you can always do that with a salad, but sometimes I just don't want a salad. So this is a good alternative for me. Veggie noodles. Show you something else I use quite a bit is rice cauliflower. And I've gone through the rigmarole of chopping it up all on my own and things like that, like the raw cauliflower, but this is so easy because I can just put this in the microwave for 4.5 minutes. It's great if you're like Mexican, like making a burrito bowl, if you're doing any kind of, really anything that you use rice with typically, you can just use it as chicken fried rice, what's the other thing I'm trying to think of? Oh goodness, can't think of it. Anyways, it's great. I found this at Kroger. The noodles I got at Sam's. Okay, so I am prepping for my lunches this week because usually dinner we kind of come up with a game plan, but Aaron usually will help cook that, and the days that he's working, I usually end up just eating leftovers. But our dinners usually consist of some type of veggie, some type of meat, and some type of carb. So it doesn't really matter what we're having. I can usually guarantee it's some type of that combination. So I can make that work into my meal plan. So as far as food prepping goes, I'm a plain Jane. I don't mind, even growing up, I never minded eating the same thing. Give me a few minutes, okay? I never minded eating the same thing over and over every day, so
I love carrots.
Here you go.
I got you in the baby book.
Oh, she got me in her baby book. Alright, so I am just gonna measure out. Like I said, I was running late, so I have all my stuff right here in front of me. But I'm just going to start prepping for the week, and one of the things I like to take is carrots and hummus. So I'll be prepping, I'll probably try to prep 7 of those, just because I also typically eat them on the weekend too. It's a good snack. I find in the mornings I'll have my chocolate shake with half a banana, so there's not anything for me to really prep with that because the bananas sit right here, and I'll just break off half and drop it into my shake. So that's breakfast is covered. And then, so snack. Usually I have my shake on the drive to work around 7:30. And then by 10 o'clock I'm kind of hungry. So the veggies and hummus is one of my go-to snacks I really like during the work week. So I've got my green container. This is equivalent to 1 cup. And all I'm going to do is just measure. I've got my bag of carrots. They're pre-washed. And I'm just measuring that into that. Sometimes I take it in these containers, but because I'm prepping for the whole week, I may not have, you may not have enough of these. So I'm going to grab my baggies and I'm just going to transfer them into a bag. Alright. Got my Ziploc bags. There's that. There is a serving of carrots. Now, if you didn't want to eat your whole serving of one veggie to be all carrots, you could do half, fill it up halfway with carrots, and maybe, or either, you know, you don't even have to eat all these in one setting. If you want to eat half of it in the morning, half of it in the afternoon, or put it on your salad or whatever. Or if you wanted to say, like, do half a serving of carrots, and then I've got a cucumber here, maybe I want to do the other half with cucumber. You can do that too. You just want to try to get whatever your number of green containers, which is the veggies, however many of these in a day that you are supposed to get in. You just want to meet that quota, whether you eat them in half portions throughout the day or not. So I'm not going to bore you with measuring out carrots, but I'm going to repeat this 7 times. So that is that process. And then this is your healthy fat container. Most likely you probably only are required to have one of these today, a day. You check your book because maybe yours says 2, but for me it's 1. And healthy fats can be cheeses, hummus, avocado, things like that. So I love hummus with my veggies. It makes it, gives it a little bit more flavor, I guess, rather than just eating raw carrots by itself. So what I'm going to do here is go ahead and pre-measure out my hummus, and I'm going to do this 7 times too. And if I run out of my blue containers, I have several sets, but I don't have 7. I've got little Tupperware, so all I'm going to do is, you know, I've kind of got a good measure there, and I'm just going to transfer that over so I at least have an idea of how much, you know, I'm getting the right serving amount, and I'm not filling up. Even though this container's small, it doesn't need to be filled up all the way. So I'm going to do that 7 times too, because like I said, I don't mind eating the same thing every day. Now, if you can still do this if you like more of a variety. You know, you can, you know, like you like avocado or guacamole or you know, whatever it is, you can prep whatever you want to eat for that week. But for me, I'm just pretty consistent, I guess, with the things I like to eat. Alright, so that is an example of my veggies. I also have a cucumber here. This week I'm going to take some salads to work. So I've got lettuce. I'm going to rinse this off. I'm going to go ahead and cut this up, or break it up. And I've got some cucumbers, so I'm going to cut this up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out, I'm going to have some salads this week with chicken. And I'm going to measure it into my green container. So I will actually wash the lettuce and stick it down in here, and then I'll probably leave a little bit of room at the top and put some, I'll cube this up and put some cucumber into my salad, and also have some little tomatoes. And so I'll do that with my tomatoes as well. Or add them to the top of my salad. And then I'll literally have plates at work, and I just take it out of my, I've got it all measured, my salad in here, and I measure it and just dump it into my plate. And then what I like to do after that is I like to add, a lot of times I'll just, like if I don't, like chicken can kind of get boring after a while, but I have some chicken that is expiring today, so I'm going to bake it tonight because we're not eating it tonight, and I'm going to use it for some of my lunches this week. I'm going to even eat it tomorrow. Aaron's working, so I'll be hanging out here with the girls and just eating whatever's around versus having to cook big meals. So I'm going to fix some chicken. I'm not going to do anything fancy. Probably just put a little bit of different seasoning on it and bake it. And then when it's out, when it's done, I'm going to cut it up. And this is the protein container. And I'm going to measure out different chicken portions. And I'll have it ready to add to my top of my salads. So there's the protein. The other thing I do a lot of times, because a lot of times I don't do chicken, but sometimes I have done tuna fish, and they come in like little great peel-away top containers, canned containers that are super easy to take in your lunchbox. But the majority of the time what I do is you can use any kind of turkey, but we really like the boar's head. So we get the boar's head. This has become a favorite, maple honey turkey. And so I'll just portion this out. Your book will tell you like how many ounces or slices approximately that is a serving. So then a lot of times I'll just put a serving size in a baggie, and then when I get to work and I put my lettuce out on a plate, I'll just shred the turkey and put it on top of it. So that's another protein idea. And then for carbs, I have gotten some sweet potatoes. Ironically, like, things that I never really gave much thought to before I started this journey was hummus. I never really tried that. I had never tried it before. One day I was like, I've got to have something for these carrots, and I knew ranch dip probably wasn't a good idea, so I was like, I'm going to try hummus, and I really like it. I'm not too crazy about the different flavors. Other people might like the different flavored hummus, but I just like the classic. But the other thing I'd really never given a chance was sweet potatoes. Right? Crazy. Like, I was all about growing up eating white potatoes, yellow potatoes, red potatoes, but I never really thought I would like sweet potatoes for some reason. And then I gave them a shot. So what I'm going to do, this is definitely way too big for a portion size. So, like, too big. So what I'm going to do is, typically, you can go about this one of two ways. If you get one that's an actual decent size, that's more comparable to a serving. Last week, I didn't have time to prep these, so all I did was, I mean, they were smaller. I took them to work raw, or however you say it, and I heated it up in the microwave, probably for around 6 minutes. I may have broken it up in 3 minutes, flipped it over, and did another 3 minutes. And seriously, like, there's no excuse why you can't eat a healthy carb, and just heat it up in your microwave. You don't have to do any prep. But considering this is huge and I have time, I'm gonna rinse this off. I'm not gonna peel the skin. I'm gonna like take some of these little things off, but then I'm gonna chop it up. I'm gonna put it on a baking sheet, and I'll post pictures in this below, and I'm gonna bake them like into like little cubes. And then once they're done baking, this is the carb container, and I'm going to measure them. I'm sorry for all this background noise. Girl, hey Olivia, turn the volume down a little bit. I'm going to measure them into this carb container, and I don't have 7 of these to fill them all up, but I'll do the same thing, and I'll just use it to measure, and then I'll pour into my own Tupperware container. So, and then what I've also found, and then when I get to work, I'll heat up the potato, usually just reheat it in the microwave, and what I've really found is I like it actually on my salad. It tastes pretty good. It gives it a little bit more flavor, so I'm not just eating lettuce and like turkey slices or whatever. So, I mean, you can always eat it on the side, but it's just something I've, kind of weird combination, but I like it. And then because I'm doing salads this next week, I don't always do salads. I might do like green beans, and you know, I can still have a potato and my turkey or whatever the case is, or broccoli. I've prepped broccoli weeks before, or the weekend before the week. And it's so good baked. Like, you drizzle olive oil and sprinkle some seasoning on it. So good. And I like mine crispy, so the darker it is, the better. Trying to think what other ideas. Oh, my salad dressing. I wanted to show you that. I've really become fond of the Skinny Girl Poppy Seed dressing. They have other flavors too. This has just been my favorite and my go-to. And so, it doesn't take much effort. What I'm going to do is measure this into my dressings container, oils and, healthy fats and oil and dressing. So, I need one of these every day. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just pour that in there. But yeah, I'll post a picture once I get done getting everything prepped. I just didn't want to bore you showing you every bag of carrot that I made or something like that. But I'll post a picture and share with me what you're prepping for the week. If you have other ideas that I haven't mentioned. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, like, even if you want, I do this too, like, even if you wanted to do a Mexican lunch, like, if you like more of a variety, like, you know, it doesn't matter to me, but for me personally, but if you like more of a variety, you know, sometimes, like, if we've had a taco night, I'll take lettuce or the cauliflower rice, and sometimes, like, I may not even have the cauliflower rice heat it, and I'll just take a frozen bag to work, and I'll heat it, right at lunchtime. And then I will take, like, the leftover taco meat, seasoned taco meat, some salsa, and there you have a taco salad. And you can take black beans, that's a carb, or some corn, and that's a carb, and you can just add that to your salad. So you don't have to, you know, if you want to call my eating boring, you don't have to eat boring. You can really do any kind of combination you want. I always just look for ways, like, how I can make it a little healthier. Like, you know, could I substitute a noodle for, like, those zucchini noodles? Could I substitute rice for cauliflower rice? And just look for ways to get veggies in, because if you're like me, those are the hardest for me to get in. I hardly ever ate maybe even a serving of veggies a day before I started this journey, and now you know, I'm accustomed to eating 3 cups worth of veggies a day, and that's a lot. Like, this container doesn't look very big, but you fill it up and you put it on your plate and you'll see exactly how big it is. And I wasn't eating any of this. Instead, I was eating 100-calorie packs and you know, baked Lay's and pretzels and, like, all this other stuff, trying to fill myself up when I should have been eating veggies. Oh, the other thing I take with me is, I mentioned I have a half a banana in my shake. Half a banana is equivalent to a fruit serving, which is your purple container. It's the same size as this. It's purple though. So half a banana is equivalent to a fruit, and I get that in the morning with my shake. And I, depending on the season or how much time I have, sometimes I have washed fruit, like strawberries and blueberries and you know, cut up pineapple, or just a variety of fruits, and did like a fruit mixture, and that's fantastic. But lately I have been more limited on time, and sometimes, like right now, some of the fruits are going out of season. So what I do really like is these Honeycrisp apples. Super easy to prep. You know what I do? Drop it in my lunchbox. That's it. So and then wash it off before I eat it. And a lot of times I don't necessarily eat this at lunch, because all the food I've prepped, like the salad and the sweet potato and your meat, all that is usually enough for me for lunch. So I'll save this for an afternoon snack. Another thing I wanted to show you is this is, if I'm craving chocolate, this has become a really good go-to for me. It's Beachbody's Beach Bar. They have, this is the chocolate cherry almond. They also have a, I think it's like a peanut butter bar. And then they also came out with a gluten-free, might be peanut butter. I'll have to check on that for you. But they just released the gluten-free one if you need that as an alternative. But I like take these two to work. And then in the afternoon, if I do need like have a sweet tooth or something, I can have that. It's got 150 calories, 10 grams of protein. And looking to see what else. Did I tell you how much fat already? 1 gram of fat. Is that what I said? Yeah. So, I don't know. There's several different fats. I'm trying to make sure I'm reading the right one. Oh, there it is. 7 grams. So, that's a great idea too. But drop your suggestions below. Post a picture of what you're prepping for this week, and let's share our ideas with each other. And let's plan. Let's see, how does it go? Fail to plan is, oh, got it wrong. What is it? Who knows? Failing to plan is planning to fail, something like that. Anyways, let's just plan so we don't fail. All right, you all have a good week.